Hi everyone. We have arrived at the end of this course. As we conclude and demonstrate our ability to assess how applications of key foundational theories meet the needs of diverse learners, let's summarize what we know. We can explain key aspects of foundational theories in interdisciplinary learning and teaching. We understand what ILT is and how it applies to learning and teaching. We recognize the socio-political nature of education. We understand the history of education as an enterprise and the social, political, and economic factors that influence how education is experienced across various student demographics. And we can evaluate the ways in which key learning theories are manifested in diverse educational contexts. We are now ready to pull all of this together to decide how we as educators address the needs of diverse learner populations today. Today's classrooms are becoming more diverse due to increasing mobility and immigration, and the move to online teaching expands our learner populations globally, creating even more diverse learner populations. So how should this growing diversity impact our teaching at large? How do we tend to differences in gender, socioeconomic status, language, origin, ability, knowledge, experiences, age, and so on? We will conclude this course by encapsulating all that we have learned into teaching practices that are responsive to our diverse 21st century student population. As we approach teaching and learning through an interdisciplinary lens of responsiveness, equity, and inclusivity, we must interrogate the many ways that students have remained marginalized and underserved. In what ways do our 21st century learners still grapple with racial and ethnic segregation into inferior education systems? How does socioeconomic status, which is often tied to race, hinder access to quality education? Do monolingualism, basically English-only, movements continue to deny equitable learning opportunities for English language learners? We know that laws were passed to rectify inequities in education for students with special needs, but what remains to be done? And in what ways are LGBTQ+ students still unprotected in U.S. schools? One avenue to acknowledging and disrupting these inequities is to embrace student diversity, viewing difference as a strength rather than a stigma. In fact, we may use differences as a platform for teaching. We eschew the one-size-fits-all and the teach-to-the-middle models of instruction because we value and respect the diversity of our students and what they bring to the classroom. Across different learner populations, we should be able to use what we have learned in this course to find common themes that resolve responsive teaching practices that meet the learning needs of diverse students. We are seeking to create an equitable and inclusive environment. This requires educators to be proactive about knowing their students and their students' communities and everyday lives, and investigating what is relevant and best for them. It's not an easy process being responsive to the needs of a diverse student population. However, as educators who are tasked with creating pathways to success for all of our students, it's a challenge we must be willing to undertake in today's classroom. This course should have opened our minds to new ideas and ways of thinking as it applies to interdisciplinary learning and teaching. A lens of interdisciplinarity allows us to approach any situation or problem in education with an open mind, allowing us to draw from a wide variety of fields to adapt our ideas. Specifically, our interdisciplinary lens in this course allowed us to examine social justice in education, as it is a vital and pressing topic that is connected to all aspects of education. As model educators, we are always advocating for our students so that they are able to receive equitable access to the best education no matter their background, their socioeconomic status, or where they are from. There were a lot of readings and activities around some very difficult concepts to understand and to discuss. Some of the topics were controversial and sensitive, but we pressed on with open minds and professionalism, keeping the best interest of our students in mind. Thank you all for a great semester, and good luck to you in your futures.